Here you are. Good evening, Canadian wine lovers. Today we're talking about Vineland Estate. I have in the green room Brian Schmidt, vigneron at Vineland. We're going to have an incredible show. I am super thrilled. It might be the best value offer of the year. And also, we'll talk about the event. We're jumping on the plane tonight at 11 o'clock. We'll be in Niagara tomorrow morning. Stay tuned. We're coming right back. Canadian wine lovers, Carl's Wine Club members, it's Wednesday. What's that mean? You sit back, you relax, you crack a bottle of Canadian wines, and you enjoy because today we have a heck of a show. It's a fly day for us. It's a flight day. We are flying tonight out of Kelowna all the way to Toronto, and tomorrow morning we're going to be in Niagara. So a fun weekend in perspective. We are very excited, but more than everything, Mira at the moment is sending the very anticipated email of our best value offer of the year with Vineland Estate. And I have Brian Schmidt, vigneron at Vineland, who's waiting in the green room. So we're going to have a heck of a show. We'll try to keep it around a 30-minute show with Brian, and we'll talk about our event after. I know if you know me, you know Brian, everyone is thinking the same. Half an hour, these two guys? I don't think so. But you know what? We have some commitment tonight. We need to be disciplined, and we'll try to make it happen. But before that, I want to see in the comments, where are you guys are tuning in from? Where in the country are you in? And what's in your glass? I mean, today I have three. No, that's not true. I have four wines in front of me, all Vineland Estate, and it's going to be a blast. So let me bring Brian in right away, and we're going to jump in. There you go. Mira, you are the great producer. Oh my God, I don't know what I would do without you. But Brian, good evening. How's it going?
Hey, Carl, how are you? Looks like we're both taking advantage of the weather outside.
I think so. I think so. I
I
heard
wouldn't
that.
mind
Well,
having a lake, not just a pool behind me. Lake Ontario or Lake Okanagan Lake would be pretty nice to be
I
sitting in
mean,
front
I
of right
mean,
now.
mine is way less maintenance than yours. That I have to say.
True enough.
I can feed my family also with that behind me. So,
I'm sure you can. Yeah,
oh yeah, I bet.
I just feed other people's families with theirs.
Exactly. Hey, speaking of the weather, I heard that you had some very important weather event this week. Some rain, which is pretty darn rare for you guys since the beginning of the summer.
Yeah, I think I even sent you a picture of it over the weekend, if I'm
You,
not mistaken. So we
you
had
sure did.
virtually no rain from sorry, not September, June, the first week or so of June until this past weekend. We had 17 millimeters of rain in total for the whatever is that 8 and a bit weeks, almost 9 weeks. And so we ended up having 27 millimeters of rain on Sunday, which was an absolute godsend. Somebody asked me, they said, so that would probably be the most perfectly timed weather. And I said, no, if it happened 3 weeks ago, that would have been the perfectly timed weather. But this is the second best great time.
So, okay, if we want to explain quickly, okay, the difference between 3 weeks ago or this weekend, what's the difference in between? Because we know the vines like being stressed, but at some point they're stressed and overstressed. I mean, where's the line here? How's that work?
Yeah, for sure. They were definitely oh, I think I lost you there. You there? Oh, you're back. They were
Boy,
definitely
I'm here.
beyond yeah, they were definitely beyond the acceptable level of stress for us. And it was coupled with the fact that we had excruciatingly hot temperatures as well. We were regularly above 35 degrees for almost that entire time. We had good water reserves from the spring, which was helpful, but we end up seeing issues with young vines for sure. So anything kind of 4 years and younger, they don't have the same root-based development. And then what was also an interesting phenomenon for us this year, because the vines were just so stressed, they didn't go into veraison. So we're probably a week and a half late from
Huh.
veraison. Normally we'd be into the thick of it by now. But because they were just so stressed, and you can begin to see the yellowing of the basal leaves around the fruit zone, and that's a bit of a sign that they've just had too much. Now, because we're on the bench, we don't have access to irrigation like they do in Niagara Lake. That would be a blessing and a bit of a godsend for us in years like this, for sure. But it's right now it's still a bit of a pipe dream, literally like pipes of water.
Huh. So in term of quality of vintage, I mean, if it keeps going like that, you guys have regular water until in the nice September, like every vigneron wants and pray for. It's that mean that the wines are going to be very concentrated. So you're probably talking about smaller size of berry at the moment. So not as much juice, but more concentration is what we have to expect.
That's what I love about you. You're the perennial optimist. So I'm going to give
Hey,
you a little anecdote.
it's a marketing job, my friend. Jeez, every vintage has to have something good to sell.
I'm gonna give you a little anecdote. Do you remember 2021 in Ontario?
Yeah, where everything was great until harvest, and it started raining, and it didn't stop.
You've answered my question. So 2021, by all measure, and we use heat units as an indicator of the quality of a vintage. It's not exact science, but it kind of gets us in the realm of what's possible in terms of the potential ripeness when we consider the heat units for that season. 2021, in our heat unit records that we have, all of the accumulated heat units before harvest, and then what accumulated after harvest in 2021 should have been the best year we ever had based on heat units alone.
Yeah.
And it was far from that. So at harvest time in 2021, I was reminded by a fellow winemaker. We're asking about vintage conditions and what I thought was happening, and he said, I recall you telling me in 2021 this was going to be the greatest vintage we ever had. He says, I think you're full of shit. So I've decided I'm no longer going to prognosticate about vintage quality in August.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. And you know what? It's like Richard Da Silva likes to tell me, until the grapes are in the tank, the vintage is not over. I don't care what people say. I don't care. It's what's important. And when I pick the grape, what's going to be, which kind of condition I'm going to have at pick time. To me, that's what matters the most. And I think
Yeah.
Richard is bang on that as well.
Yeah, he absolutely is. What I can promise is that with my accumulated years, many years of making wine at Vineland Estates, I've seen most of the ups and downs, the ebbs and flows, the good years, the bad years. And what I can promise is that I will make the best decision possible with the most information that I have available.
Yeah, it is. And what you're mentioning, like in terms of dryness, it's probably much one of the driest season that you've seen on record.
Without question. Yeah, we have never endured this type of heat. I think in BC you guys call them a heat dome. No, what is it called?
Yeah.
Some sort of a dome. Yeah, I think they call it a heat dome. If we could have a dome over Niagara, I would say this was the year we had a heat dome, and it's the hottest on record that I can see so far. And
wow.
the driest.
Wow. So, okay, that's for that part. I've heard also that you're waiting for a machine, something pretty cool that should be parked at the winery very soon. The new, a new harvester or something like that. Al was telling me that there's a piece of equipment that's supposed to arrive sometimes this week or shortly.
Oh my gosh, no! Unless this is a early birthday gift that nobody's told me about. No, I don't think so. So
No.
we have the unit that we have on site for the trials that we're doing with the ultraviolet light, hydrogen peroxide, and
Yeah. Oh, it's already
ozone.
on site.
So that unit has been with us now for about three and a half weeks.
Okay. Okay.
I could send you a video of that. So perhaps that is that the unit that you're speaking about that Alan was
Yeah,
talking about?
exactly.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, so and it's mounted on a harvester. And so those trials continue. This is our third year trialing this system. Never before been used on grapes. They've had some success with leafy greens, with lettuce, spinach, etc. And it basically takes the three components of hydrogen peroxide, ozone, and UV light, and kills powdery mildew and downy mildew. And does this without the necessity of chemicals, expensive chemicals. And then in addition to that, there's a whole bunch of other benefits where we have reduced fuel usage, reduced compaction. So this is state of the art, never been done before. This is a made in Ontario solution for a global problem.
That is incredible. So, as you know, we're flying red eye tonight. We're going to be at Pearson tomorrow morning, in Niagara tomorrow around lunchtime. You're our first stop. We're going to be seeing you. First and foremost, I have to taste the 2020 Saint Urbain Elevation Riesling, which is on in our bonus pick in the pack, and I've never tasted it. So I have to
2020.
taste that. The 2020, I've not tasted it. I've
You got
tasted
Al gave you the 2020. Holy shit.
Yeah. So apparently
He
you
likes
guys
you.
have 10 cases left.
Wow.
And
Oh,
and Al said, yes, we can put it as a special bottle, as an exclusive library release for you guys for
oh,
this
that son
feature.
of a gun. You
I
know what?
know, right? I
Well,
know.
that's going to be on his next annual review. I kept those for myself.
I know. And he said to me, don't mention it live. He's going to get pissed at me. But I mean, I'm all about viewership, right? I want some clicks. I want some views.
All
And I
right.
said, screw
Okay.
that. Sorry, Al. We're going
There
to
you
throw you
go.
under the bus. No. Yeah, he said there's a few cases left and we have that. I've not tasted it. So I'm going to swing by tomorrow. So
It's
you and me are,
extraordinary.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm hearing. So I can't wait. I would like to
Perfect.
take a look at that machine, though.
Yeah.
Would you be willing to show it to us so I can do a little video of it?
You got it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That'll be
It's there
awesome.
sitting. Yeah. It's sitting there ready for you to, you might even be able to drive it if you want. It's pretty cool.
Oh, oh my
Yeah.
God.
It's like,
Okay.
it's like a
Well,
spaceship.
can't wait. Let's talk about. There's a few things because we have an incredible feature coming up and starting right now with you guys. The whole weekend, the whole time we're in Niagara, we're going to run Vineland Estate. We have one wine here that I was pretty impressed with, not only the taste, but the story behind it. And we're talking about the
Oh, nice.
2023, the Chardonnay Muscat Mission Vineyard. So, I mean, this is a little bit of a departure from your Niagara Peninsula Chardonnay Muscat, which has always been a great value wine, something that is like widely distributed at the LCBO, but this one is a little bit different. And I notice a difference on the palate as well. I want to know the story. I know the story, but I think our viewer would love to hear what's the Mission Vineyard and what's special with that wine, because I think, is it the very first release on its own?
We bottled it on its own before, but it was wine club exclusive for our wine club as well. And so I've been really looking forward to sharing this with you and with all of the Carl's Wine Club members. And you're right, the story is really close to my heart. And but I do want to make sure. Are you able to hear me, or is there a lot of wind?
I hear you perfectly.
Okay, that's great.
Have
So
you heard the dog behind me? There's two dogs barking. No, okay, well, good.
no. Okay, that we're great. So yeah, so this is a vineyard, Mission Vineyard, very specific. It's a vineyard that is about as a crow flies, maybe 3/4 of a kilometer from Vineland Estates Winery. And I've been actually making wine from this particular vineyard for many, many years. Although it never was bestowed with the name Mission Vineyards, it was owned by a dear friend of ours, Ed Garinskis, who founded Lakeview Cellars. He and his wife Lorraine founded Lakeview Cellars in the late 1980s, and it's subsequently sold a number of times over. That property is now owned
Diamond
by
Estate, right?
Paz. No, well, they own the brand, but Taz owns the property. And
Okay. And Diamond
yes,
owned the brand. Okay.
exactly, yes. And so when Ed Grinskis sold the brand and the winery, he still wanted to continue growing grapes. So just adjacent to that site, on the edge of the escarpment, he bought a small little 5-acre parcel that he continued to farm. He planted the Chardonnay Musqué in 2008. And so I have been helping him with that vineyard, helping him with that farm, and we've been purchasing those grapes for quite a number of years. And they've always gone into our regular Chardonnay blend that we do.
Yeah.
And I had always a gentleman's agreement with him that when he decided he wanted to sell, that I would have the first right of refusal. So in 2021, he came to me and he said, "Brian, I think I'm ready. I'm getting tired. It's just too much for me to handle. Are you still serious about wanting to purchase this beautiful 4-acre parcel, 5-acre parcel on the edge of the escarpment, looking out into Lake Ontario?" And I said, "By all means, Ed, let's make it happen." So several weeks later, my wife and I took possession of it. So the Chardonnay Musqué that you're tasting is, as I said, planted in 2008. Now we name it Mission Vineyards because the vineyard that I was born on in the Okanagan Valley, which is now home to Saint Hubertus in Kelowna. And
Brian, just pause a second. I know
yeah,
that Mira's listening to us right now. Mira, I
oh,
have that picture saved in our picture. If you can throw that, the sign that Brian sent me this week, I would like you to flash it on the screen if possible, Mira, if you can hear me. It almost got me to tears when I saw that. Seeing the name of your grandfather and the name of your dad on the sign, I thought it
yes,
was always amazing. So please keep going. If Mira can hear me, she's gonna
sure.
flash the sign on the screen.
Sure. So my grandfather purchased that vineyard in the mid 1900s. My father was born on that property. My brother, myself, my sister, we were all born on that vineyard. And subsequently, my father passed away in 2019, and his ashes are actually spread in that vineyard. And so, born on that particular property, now home to St. Hubertus Winery, was when my grandfather owned it. It was called Okanagan Mission Vineyards, and at one point, it was British Columbia's largest winery. We had about vineyard. We had about 170 acres, and we were growing a collection of grape varieties that were probably not so familiar with people today, but in the day, back in the day, they were very popular, and it was a going concern. So that Okanagan Mission Vineyard was in our family until the 1970s or so. We sold it, and then we moved on to Sumac Ridge. That's when. So then we moved on to Sumac Ridge after we sold the that property. So I name it Mission Vineyards in honor of my grandfather, who had been one of the absolute pioneers of grape growing in Canada. And then, in addition to that, sort of a double entendre, if you will, my wife and I also have a farm in Haiti where we have been growing vegetables for some time. We were able to secure that property in 2017 after I had been going back and forth to Haiti for quite a number of years, where we're doing mission work. And my wife and I decided that we would take all of the revenue that we generate from the farm, this particular farm that we have, this 4 acres, which has subsequently also been planted with Cabernet Franc. So we'll get some of that in your hands at some point. But
Yeah.
all of the revenue that we generate from this particular vineyard is redirected to our farm in Haiti to ensure that the efforts that we want to undertake in this third world country where people have absolutely nothing, that we're able to help those people be prosperous in our little farm there. So one farm feeds another. So the double entendre Mission Vineyards from Okanagan Mission Vineyards, my grandfather's vineyard, and the mission work that we do in Haiti.
So, and how big the farm is in Haiti? Is it a farm like a 4 acres, 4 or 5 acres in Haiti as well,
Two
or it's a little bigger?
2.5 hectares. Yeah.
2.5 acres. Okay.
2.5 hectares.
Okay.
But if you know the area that we're farming in Haiti, it's on the side of a mountain. It is like a goat hill. It's incredibly rare, and it's really a unicorn to be able to have a farm that's producing vegetable crops in this particular area of Haiti. And it was devastated in a hurricane where there was actually a 12-inch gap was created, so the people from the area of Jeremy were not able to get back and forth and have produce brought back and forth to the area of Jeremy. And so it would have to be flown in, or there was kind of brought over on carts. It was incredibly difficult. So that's when we embarked on this idea of trying to grow vegetables on the side of a mountain in Haiti. So we had to drill a water well. We had to build
Oh,
a
wow.
shed. So it was a Herculean effort to be able to grow vegetables in this remote part of Haiti.
So this little wine here all of the proceed of that wine goes to that project.
Exactly. Yes.
That's amazing. So, okay, the other news is I rated it 91 points. I think, and despite the whole story behind it, which is really it's really fantastic, when you put the price point versus the quality and the depth and layer that you have in that Chardonnay Muscat, it's absolutely fantastic. Mira and I came up with the wow factor of a wine, worth over price or something like that. So what I do, I take my score and I divide it by the price point, and it gives me a number.
Well, that's
And
interesting. I like that.
Yeah. So we've been doing that for a couple months now, and the wow factor for this one is the third highest ever.
Oh, you're kidding.
I am not, because no, it's 91.5, so 91 plus points, and at the price point, it ended up to be the third highest wow index that we have since we started doing that. So I thought it was fascinating. So I really love that wine, and I thought with the story behind it, it's a great summer wine, but it's also really good at the table. There's so much you can do with that little. There you go.
Oh, there we are.
Chateau O'Brien.
That was a working title for a little while.
I loved it. I loved it. I picked up on that one pretty quick.
That was a lot of fun.
There you go. That's the picture we're talking about, Brian, here. This is the Okanagan Mission Vineyard. Your grandfather, your dad here, and I can see the British Columbia largest vineyards. It's absolutely amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and here, so...
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
so we want to stay, and we'll talk about the wine in a few minutes, but we need to talk about the Massey. The Massey 1939, I believe.
1939. So after my father passed away, my mother gave me all of my father's records, and he was a meticulous record keeper. And in those records was the sale of our family property where St. Hubertus is now, of Okanagan Mission Vineyards. And on the list of chattels that was sold was a 1939 Massey Harris tractor. Now that's important for a couple of reasons. A, it was the first tractor my grandfather ever bought. B, 1939 was the start of the war, so all of the metal was being redirected. So to make a tractor in 1939 was actually quite remarkable. And third, Massey was at that time was built in Beamsville, which is 10 kilometers from where I am right now. And so my grandfather would have had that tractor shipped across the country to Kelowna, where he would have used that. So when I found out about this 1939 Massey Harris tractor, I went on the hunt down for that, and I finally found a 1939 Massey Harris tractor in Shelburne, Ontario, 2 years later. And so I was able to pick that up, and it's now being refurbished by a very talented antique tractor refurbisher here in our area, and I should have it back hopefully by the end of harvest. So and I have an artist prepare it, ready to paint the same purple tone that you saw that Okanagan Mission Vineyards in. I have an artist prepared to paint that logo on the side of the tractor.
Oh my God, I can't wait to see that. So I think when you get that, we need some footage of that when you get this going. Oh my God.
Absolutely.
Incredible. So okay, so that's for the emotional part of it. Let's get back to the wine that we have, okay? Because there's a few things
the
here.
Stories about wine are even better than the wine, though, right?
I mean, the wines are pretty darn good, but the stories are hard to beat. I'll tell you one thing. So
especially
I want to talk about
Sue-Ann Staff and her tree and the switch that they have with Jesse James. I love those
I know,
stories.
right?
The stories are the best.
I know, right? I mean. The Chestnut Tree Cabernet Franc is a very good wine, but darn it that the story it's even better than the wine, right?
Indeed.
Okay, so we're gonna taste with you the 2020 Elevation Riesling. We already talked about that. We're gonna taste it tomorrow when we got there, but I rated 93 points here. The 2022 Elevation Riesling.
Okay.
So 22 was a hard vintage because of the rain of 2021, the frost you had in the winter. Everything, the spring was wet, and it was a darn mess at the beginning of that harvest, at the beginning of that season. Finally, there was two great varietals who really came out of 2022 as a shiny object, was Riesling and Cabernet Franc.
Wow, you
I
don't say.
I need to insert myself because in your notes you say 23. So
oh shit, you're right.
That's all
So
right.
anyway,
But
forget
but
about 22.
you're absolutely correct about everything you said around 22, though.
Yeah. Okay, Mira, you are the best. Thank you for saving the day. The 22 is the Elevation Cabernet that we're going to talk in a minute. So
There you
the
go.
Riesling is the 23 vintage. This is the recent release, just released, 93 points. I think
Actually,
we
we're
had
almost
that call.
just released and almost sold out now. We've had a big run on that one, and everybody's loving it. We're on to the 24, so we'll try the 24 here. So we've held back some for you guys for this release for sure, but
And
we're like weeks
I
away
re-
from entering the 24.
remember when we visited in June for the Pan Canadian? We
Yeah,
were at the winery. We tasted the wine, and we had a conversation about RS versus acidity,
right.
right? That's the exact conversation we had with a bunch of members, and that's what stands out here. There's maybe what 28 30 gram of residual sugar in that wine, but it comes out round, soft, but also bright acidity. That's
Yeah,
that's a
the stone fruit in that wine is just absolutely amazing. I love it. Stone fruit, white peach,
yeah.
some tropical notes. It's a beautiful wine, and it's really truly a quintessential Niagara Riesling, if you ask me. And there have been a lot of discussion around RS and Rieslings over the years, and we've comfortably settled on the fact that for our wines to show their best, and from the St. Urban Vineyard itself, it always needs a little bit of the natural RS present after an arrested fermentation. So we will stop the ferment. As you'll see that one, I believe it's around 8.5% alcohol or so.
Yeah,
So the remaining
I think it clicks in at 9. So yeah, you're right.
9, yeah, something like that. And so those lower alcohols will actually, the remaining sugar that is stop after arrested fermentation is the sugar that is responsible for creating that volume and texture. And then we have the natural acidity that is always present on the escarpment. That natural acidity backs up that RS, and it's an absolutely amazing example of the potential for Riesling in not only Ontario, but I've tasted similar Rieslings like this in British Columbia as well. And so when you can capture that natural acidity, that is the key.
That is the key. And also for me, what comes from the bench, I think that stony minerality that's left on the back end, that's really what makes it to me a bench Riesling. And you
Yeah.
can taste it. There's that little tartness who comes back at the end and clamp down and really get the flavors focus, and that stony minerality who shows up on the back end. That to me makes the complexity, the extra layer, the seriousness of it. I mean,
Yeah.
93 points, I think, absolutely bang on. So now that I've tasted that one, we're going to taste the 2020 tomorrow together
You
at
bet.
the winery. I can't wait.
So this would be really fun for you as well, Carl. So another little sort of funny anecdote about wine in Canada. The Tantalus Vineyard, and I'm sure you know of Tantalus, who is well known for Riesling. The
mhm.
Riesling that they grow there, those vines were planted roughly around the same time as the vines were planted at St. Urban Vineyard. I believe just a couple of years later. They were planted by the Dulick family, and the Dulick family, Dan and Pat Dulick, were actually my sister's godparents. And Den
Oh my,
Dulick and Den Dulick's father-in-law, Hughes was his last name, Martin Hughes, and my grandfather grew grapes together back in the day, and they were both pioneers in the Okanagan Valley. But what's really interesting is I've tasted the Tantalus Riesling that comes from their old vines against our Riesling that we have on our property, and of course there are some unique differences because of British Columbia and Ontario soil type, et cetera. But that's grown on a hillside as well. It's grown on a bench. So it would be fun for you to try Tantalus Riesling and St. Urban Riesling together live one time, and perhaps what we could do is even have the winemaker and myself
well,
get
I
on,
mean,
and we can do a
they
talk.
are fantastic at Tantalus. We featured last year for our, I think it was for our advent calendar. We had the Old Vines 2012
Yes,
Tantalus Reserve. I mean, these wines are absolutely off the chart,
they're
and
extraordinary.
Yes, the winemaker is awesome, and I really like what they do there. Is it the same clone? Is it the same clone? Exactly the
Vice
same. This,
Vice
yeah, the
21, yeah,
Vice
Vice
clone.
21 clone. Yep. My father
Wow,
was importing the Vice 21 clone in the 70s into British Columbia and was selling them to growers around the
yeah,
Okanagan Valley. And those were
yeah,
some of the first Rieslings that were brought into Canada or into British Columbia through my
that's
father.
awesome. What a story. What an incredible story. And that's what we're seeing in our email today. Like, I mean, like you guys were pioneer. Your dad was a pioneer. Vineland Estate was a pioneer on the bench. Who else was there when Vineland got established in 79? I mean, there was a handful of guys present on the bench. Who were they?
Yeah, so Cave Springs was in sort of a nascent winery. I believe their first production was around, I want to say 88, 87. The
Okay.
first production for Vineland Estates was 83. The vines
Okay.
were put in the ground in 79, 80, and 81. But at the same time, a gentleman who's no longer growing grapes, Bill Lenko, was
Yep.
putting some Riesling in.
Oh,
Roman
wow.
Padakovitz, our dear vineyard manager who retired this year at the age of 84. We he finally begged me to let him go, and I fought him and fought him and fought him. So his grandchildren won out on that argument. But the Padakovitz Rosamel Vineyard had some Riesling put in there around the same time, as of course Cave Springs, and then also Henry Pelham. It's they've expanded their production, and I know that they lean pretty heavily on Baco Noir for their production and their personality. But they are one of the nascent Riesling producers in Ontario as well, and have some very old vines.
That is amazing. So before I let you go, I want to talk about the Pinots.
Oh yes.
that that's something new. I mean, I've been following your portfolio for years and years, and I saw that. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. I tasted your single clone, single varietal Pinot Meunier multiple times, the sparkling Pinot Meunier, but now the Pinots is a new one for me. 85% Pinot Meunier, 14% Pinot Noir, and 1% Gamay in that
Yes.
and it's a non-vintage. So
It is a non-vintage, exactly. So that's kind of a funny wine. So we are helping a local restaurateur that has purchased a small vineyard in our area, and he's been a wonderful client, wonderful supporter of Vineland Estates for many years. He purchased this vineyard with the intention of it being an events venue.
okay.
But on there was a bunch of Pinot Noir and some Gamay. And he said, Brian, will you take this Pinot? Now you know my quote unquote love of Pinot. And I just didn't have it in my heart to tell him that no, we're not gonna help him. We're not gonna take that fruit. So against my better judgment, I decided that I would bring in this Pinot, and we've been making some sparkling out of it. We had a lovely Riesling, a lovely Pinot Noir rosé. I think you tried that when you were
Yeah,
here.
I sure did.
Uh,
I said we
yeah,
tried it with the members actually when we were there.
exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. A beautiful rosé. And
yeah.
so this fruit, we ended up blending it with some Pinot Meunier. You'll notice that Pinot Meunier takes the pride of place as the
Oh
first.
yeah, absolutely,
And
absolutely, and it's not even close. I mean, like Meunier's taking over on the front palate, but also on the back end, definitely.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And so that was the only way that I could really find it in my heart to put a Vineland Estates label on a bottle of Pinot Noir.
Just to put an S at the end of the T after the T on
Exactly.
Pinots.
Exactly.
Hey, but you know what? I tasted that with a couple friends on Sunday where we had a few people with a big plate of charcuterie,
Yeah.
and I couldn't stop myself because I asked the crowd, how would you rate that wine? And it was 8 of us, and the average score was 91 points.
Oh, you're kidding. That's
I am
amazing.
not. People, it was warm day. The wine was chilled a little bit. It
That's a
was the
perfect, yeah.
start. It was the star of the afternoon. I
Yeah.
mean,
Oh, that's great.
people absolutely loved it. I mean, it may have helped when before I said this is a dominant Pinot Meunier. People got all giggly and all excited, and
Yeah.
I mean, it's awesome. I loved it.
So again, I love the cross country stories that I'm able to share with you and share with the wine club Carl's Wine Club members that you guys have. But the Pinot Meunier that we grow on our property, we're the largest grower of Pinot Meunier in Canada. We had about 8 acres. We had to pull some out because it was suffering because of an area of very low soil composition, low soil structure. But that Pinot Meunier, those cuttings, actually also came from the existing Tantalus vineyard, from the Dulick family farm, and we
Nah,
brought
you're
those
kidding
to
me.
us in 1997. We spoke with the Dulicks and said, "Can you give us some of your cuttings of Pinot Meunier?" And so we brought those across from Tantalus, the existing Tantalus or Dulick farm. So there's another cross country connection right there.
That is awesome. I mean, speaking about cross country connection here, we have the Hunter Marks here are listening, and they say hi to you, and
Oh, that's
they
amazing.
yeah. Kimberly's saying hi, that it's nice to see you. And I'm sure if Kimberly's commenting right now, I'm sure that Jeff is pretty somewhere nearby. So
He's not
that's
far. I hope we get to see them soon. They're such wonderful friends and great ambassadors for Canadian wine for sure.
well.
I love them
I mean,
dearly.
Jeff worked with some amazing fruits over his career in Niagara on the Lake with Mary Nesson, and like working
Yeah.
some very like iconic Cabernet Sauvignon back then and all that. Now Jeff has been doing a tremendous job here in BC, and it's always great to see his name once
Yeah.
in a while. So
Well, and what I really don't understand what is the guy keeps winning the lottery. He gets great fruit. He works with great vineyards, but more importantly, the fact that Kim puts up with him as much as she does, and he was able to be her life partner. That's the greatest lottery he's ever won.
that's his platinum medal, right? Double platinum here. I love it. I love it. Let's talk quickly. Okay, there's 2 more wines. The 22 elevation. Okay, we were talking about the 22 vintage, how harsh it was, but Cabernet Franc came out really,
Beautiful.
really strong of 2022, despite all the shit came out in the early vintage. And this elevation Cabernet, I believe that at $28, including tax and everything, it's an absolute steal. 85% Cap Franc, 15% Cap Sauv. It's 100% boutique vineyard, right?
100% boutique vineyard. And yeah, that's actually also a field blend, interestingly enough. So in 2013 and 14, the vineyards in Niagara suffered a terrible winter conditions where we had 2 years in a row a tremendous amount of vine death, similar to what British Columbia experienced a couple of years ago. And interestingly enough, in that vineyard, and you've been there with me several times, where that particular block of Cab Franc is used to be 100% Cab Sauv. And in the years 13, 14, 14, 15, when we had all that winter damage, we had about 15,000 vines of Cab Sauv. In those years, we lost around 12,500 vines from the cold temperatures.
Holy shit.
The Cabernet Franc right beside it, we had roughly the same amount of vines, and we lost around 250. So
Ha!
Mother Nature was telling us, here you have 2 exact Cabernet Franc, Cab Sauv in the exact location. Here's what we think you should take a look at and focus on in the future. So we interplanted and replanted that vineyard with Cabernet Franc. Now I've mentioned this to several wine growers in the Okanagan, based on the experience that we've had. Had I been smart and had I known what I know now, I would have ripped all of that Cab Sauv out and I would have replanted it completely with Cab Franc. But in my haste, I ended up interplanting, and it took a hell of a lot longer for us to be able to get that vineyard established again. And so we're essentially operating 2 vineyards in one. You've got vines that are 1, 2, 3, 4 years old, and then right beside it, vines that are 15, 18, 20 years old. And so you're
Wow.
essentially operating 2 vineyards. And so it was incredibly difficult for us, cost a lot of time and energy and resources. But the interesting thing now is the remaining Cab Sauv in that vineyard account for about 15% of that total blend. It's actually getting less and less each year because we're pulling more and more out to get it ultimately to be 100% Cab Franc. But in 2022, about 15% of those vines in that block were still Cab Sauv. So hence how that blend came. It's not that we grow Cab Sauv specifically anymore. That that
It came out when the front
it,
come out, the soap
yeah.
come out at the same time.
Yeah, so as far as I'm concerned, Kapsov in Ontario, certainly on the bench goes by way of the dodo bird. So
I mean, I mean, there's like, I think to me, Capso should be grown on the 4 Mile Creek, and
absolutely, where it's hot and warm. Yeah,
that's
yeah.
it, right?
And the perfect example of that is our dear friend that we lost this year,
Yes,
Adnan Isel.
yes.
Nobody did it better. My
No,
gosh,
nobody. I,
he
I agree with you. I agree with you. The
yeah.
best of the best.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, and stunning, and where you have that heat, Saint David's as well. Beautiful Cab Sauves there. Chateau de Charmes for years did some gorgeous one. Ravine has done some
Yeah,
gorgeous ones.
the Lely, the Stonebridge
Lately,
Vineyard
yeah,
now, like
yeah,
with an amazing team out there. They're doing a great job, but I agree with you that Adnan has done it like no one else.
yeah,
Absolutely. Um,
yeah.
so
God
that's
rest
that
his soul.
elevation. But I mean, like, we're talking, like, it's funny that you mentioned that because we're talking about $75 wines. Ravine Reserve Capsule, Stonebridge Capsule, Ice
Mm,
Cellar Capsule. Those are $75 to $100 Capsule. We're
yeah,
talking about the $28 here, all in. That's why, that's up putting my teeth now. It's a 92 plus wine point wine, because I always put the price in consideration. To me,
yes.
the price has, when I score a wine, I need to put the price in consideration because it over deliver my price, my expectation every time. And this is no different. This wine is absolutely amazing. One
Oh, I
more
love that.
wine, and I want Mira to jump in because she fell in love with the 2023 Cap Franc. Not for what's, well, yes, for what's in the bottle, but for the bottle itself. Mira, I need you to jump in. I need you to come in and do your pitch. It was an agreement we have. She fell in love with the little mini Cap Franc. So,
Hey,
Mira.
Mira.
I usually like the magnums, okay? And Brian, you make a heck of an amazing magnum that is like you can get it personally engraved, you guys, with the Carl's Wine Club 5-year
Our
logo
legacy,
this
yeah,
week and
yeah. The
with the
legacy
legacy. It's a phenomenal
is a special
magnum, like,
project.
you
Yeah,
know, I love it. And it's an infinity vintage, that magnum, which is even cooler because if you want to talk about celebrating, you know, births, anniversaries, big events, like how amazing is it that it's an infinity vintage and you can have like one from your anniversary year, one from later, things like
love
that.
that.
But this one is not a huge, big bottle. It's a tiny one, and it's super cute. Look at it. It's a half size bottle, which like it never happens with really good wines, you know? Like sometimes you see wine in cans or you see, but like
Yeah,
rarely
that
do
was
you
so.
get.
Yeah, that was in response to the changing retail market that we have here in Ontario, and we've seen sort of a tectonic shift in the ability for us to be able to sell and market wines throughout Ontario, with the sort of the de-emphasis of the LCBO wine going into convenience stores. Wines now allowed to be sold through Costco, and this was just an option that we decided to take advantage of primarily for the convenience store market. The LCBO was never interested in selling a product like this. We had done some small mini bottles in the past, in past vintages, but we decided to do a bit of a deep dive, and we did both Cab Franc, Chardonnay, and Pinot Grigio. And in the future, we'll be adding Riesling to that as well. But those half bottles are they're fantastic. It bothers me because now I have to say I've got to open 2 bottles of wine at night just to have 1 bottle. But that's but that's
But it's
besides the
so
point.
cute. It's
Or
so cute. I was just
more importantly, what you can do now is that you can actually have 750 and a 375, and you're still good. You haven't wasted that second bottle.
So the key is to add the 750 to the 375. You have the perfect pour.
You got the perfect pour right there. Absolutely.
That's
But it's fun. We put that under screw cap as we have all with all the other wines, and that's actually I think the first introduction of the 23 Cab Franc. We're still selling 22 is our current vintage for the general list, and 23 was really just a sleeper hit for us. And I really love the texture of that wine. I love the body, medium weight for sure. but again, all the classic Vineland tones for Cab Franc, and all of the voodoo that we do, all the love that I have for Cab Franc has been poured into that half bottle, but the same amount of love has been poured into a half bottle.
And you know what? At $10 all in, I mean, come on. This is just absolutely fantastic. 91 plus points. This wine floored me in terms of like, and Mira was like, she gave me crap, Brian. She said I didn't score it high enough. She's like, no, come on. You need to score it more. So I got some
I
pressure
agree.
here. I
So
was
this
pressured.
So now what you need to be able to do is add one more matrix to your wow factor. And any bottle that can fit into the water bottle holder on your bike should get extra points.
This is a great point. This is a great point. And you know what? I love the peer pressure because he has 91 points in his notes. So I'm changing it right now. You just said 91 plus, right?
There you go.
I love it.
That's the Mira influence right there.
I
Hey,
love that.
Brian, I mean, I have to let you go. You've been so gracious to us. I know that you're busy. The
Thank you.
granddaughter is at home. She deserves
Yeah,
her
I think
grandpa.
no, I think
And
she's asleep now. I've come outside. That's why I apologize if it was a little bit windy, but she's asleep
Oh,
now.
no, it's
We had
awesome.
a fun afternoon in the pool and in the hot tub, and so she's tuckered out.
that's awesome. Well, I appreciate that, Brian. I appreciate everything. We're gonna be there tomorrow. I have my
Look forward to it.
kids are in the window. Right, just like they have their backpack on their shoulder, and it's like, let's go. We need to
Let's go, let's
go.
go, let's go. You're not flying Air Canada, are you?
No, absolutely no,
Good.
no.
Well, actually, yeah, I guess with your past with WestJet, that makes sense. Of course.
Yeah. So
Well, we don't get any perks for that, but
not
Oh
we'll
anymore.
no.
just check
Not
Oh my
anymore. No,
what's
no, that was
goodness.
not a
time pass.
lifetime. It was not a lifetime pass. No, 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 no.
I'll send a letter to them and tell them to cut you some slack.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly,
Well, I
right?
appreciate that. I'll see you tomorrow at around 1 o'clock.
You got it.
We'll get a bottle of the 2020 Riesling on ice. I want to see that new little machine that you're working with, and we're going to go live with our
You got it.
people just to catch up. Brian, I appreciate your time. You're the best. I greatly appreciate that.
Thanks
Thank you so
well
much.
again, thanks again for all of your love for Vineland and specifically for Canadian wines. As I said when you were out here in the at Sue Staffs for the annual um,
The Pan
game
Canadian.
Pan Canadian. Thank you, thank you. What you guys have been able to do in the 5 years of being the ambassadors for Canadian wine is truly amazing, and we really appreciate it. And I know that your wine club members absolutely love you. They love your enthusiasm. They love your energy. And I just want to know where you get it from. All
I
that
mean,
all that energy. My goodness, that's
it's all
amazing.
me. It's all Mira. It's all Mira, Brian. I'm telling you.
I love that. I absolutely love it.
Watch out. Watch
I
out,
feel like
because
it's
we found out that Carl is actually lacking energy because it turns out all these years he's been celiac.
oh, you're
And
kidding.
so the
3 weeks
last month we're
ago, I got
shooting
a
it.
diagnosis that I'm celiac, and that's what the doctor told me. That's why you don't have energy.
Really? Wow.
So can you imagine what's going to happen now?
You're gonna be like
With,
supercharged. Holy smokes.
Yeah, I cut all gluten of my diet, and now I'm freaking flying.
Unbelievable. You don't even need to get on the plane tomorrow.
No. I put the
just flap your
family.
wings.
I put the family on the plane, and I follow.
Yeah, you just flap your wings. You could probably run behind it. That's amazing. Well, I'm glad that you're feeling better. That's a big. I'm sure that you were shocked. I'll talk more about that
It's
tomorrow. I'm sure.
shocking. It's truly shocking. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel
My goodness.
I feel energized.
Well, yeah,
That's
suddenly he's got all this new energy, which we didn't think was possible, but
right.
there it is.
A new level. Well, sorry, Mira.
There you go. Well,
We'll
That's
see you.
awesome.
We'll see you
you guys
tomorrow,
tomorrow.
so
Brian.
much. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great night. Cheers.
Be well.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. I feel so spoiled right now because they really gave us like the royal absolute backstage incredible access like over the many years that we've known Brian Schmidt and Vineland, but especially with this offer, this has to be the hottest, most amazing offer we've seen all year.
I mean, I mean, in terms of value, it's no contest. There's nothing close to that. I mean, the folk, and I'm curious to see the wow factor. And I was trying to explain Brian here. It's
worth. I think that's what we said. Wow, wine over worth.
wine over worth. You're right. Exactly. I was like
that.
worth
Anyway, it's
over.
like the score and the price point. Divide them, and you get like if it's over 3 points, wow factor. That's a really good above average
Ratio.
quality price ratio.
Yeah.
And if you get over 4, that's like a unicorn. And I think there's 3 wines over 4 wow factor in this offer.
Yeah. That's absolutely incredible.
It's insane.
It is,
It's
isn't
insane.
it?
And then there's these guys here.
Well, these
we
are
haven't even-
all library released in the bonus pick. I mean, there's a 93 points with the reserve cab. There's the 2019, which is this wine was not supposed to exist. That's why I didn't mention it to Brian during
You
the
might not
live.
even know we got access to
Yeah,
that.
that's right. He would have said like, what are you talking about? So I kept it. So we have the 2019, which like I mentioned in my tasting notes, Vineland produced a little bit more modern style of wine in terms of their reds, and that 19 took me right back to the Bordeaux, on the right bank Bordeaux Cap Franc. It's that tannin, that earthiness, that herbaceousness with the dark fruit. That 2019 was awesome for 1995 all in, 6 years of age. Are you fucking kidding me? That's amazing. Oh my God. And there's also the 2020 Riesling that we're going to taste tomorrow live from the winery. So yeah, they rolled out the red carpet. We're going to also have, if anyone would like or need an engraved magnum with their name on, we have the Infinite Vintage Legacy.
Now we should mention, okay, with the Infinity Vintage Legacy, it's a Magnum. Huge bottle.
Yeah.
It comes with a beautiful wooden box. It comes with, the wax on top and everything. It's a phenomenal story behind that bottle. It tastes amazing. But
10 vintages. It's 10 vintages in the same bottle.
It's probably the most unique project like that I've ever heard of in Canada and possibly beyond. And what we should mention is when you order it through Carl's Wine Club, they will engrave your name or message on there for free, including our 5-year anniversary logo on there. So it makes it like 100 times extra special.
A piece of collection. So
it really is very special.
I don't know if we mentioned, Mira, Vineland Estate, Brian Schmidt has made the Carl's Wine Club 5-year anniversary wine as well.
I was gonna say, but before we get to that part, because that part you guys helped us design the label, and there's Brian Schmidt's signature right on it next to Carl's and mine. An amazing wine that I think punches way above its price point. And
that's another wine that I got shit about that I didn't rate it high enough. I think it's a thing with
yeah, you got to go to this. We tasted it in the vineyard with members, and we tasted the wines from both sides of the vineyard, like literally in the vineyard. That the two sides of the vineyard have the different clones of Cab Franc that are in this bottle. We tasted it originally, 4 years ago with members. That's what the picture is on the screen now. And then we tasted it again when we released this wine just a couple months ago. Really special.
Special moment.
So
special moment.
But if we go back to the engraved Magnum, which I don't have a picture of handy, you'll have to go to this link and check it out on our website to see the engraved Magnum, because it looks freaking phenomenal. And we have pictures of you holding it up.
Do you have a children nearby? If you have a children nearby, send them to the wine wall at the entrance is right there.
Oh, is there children nearby? Sweetheart, would you mind going to get the huge bottle of wine near the entrance? The biggest one you see. The biggest one you say it's where, Carl?
It's on the wine wall at the entrance.
On the left side there should be like the biggest bottle you see, and it has Carl's Wine Club on it. And
it's engraved. It's engraved on it.
It says Vineland. Anyway, you might find it. But what I want to mention about the Legacy Magnum, right? It's $300 if you want to get this absolutely ultra amazing Magnum. And it's worth it because it is one of those things you don't like crack it open for lunch on a Tuesday. It's a way to celebrate. So you could have like one now, one that you age, or maybe you get another one in 10 years to compare the two. You found it. You're so good. Good job. Thank you. So it's like beautiful engraving. So it's $300 all in, but you can also get one for free if you come to Burgundy with us next June. And there's, I think, 4 couple spots left.
4 couple spots left. Yep. And
we're sending a Magnum to everyone, everyone that's joining us there. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So something pretty unique.
Boom.
And again, like it's a 93 points wine, and the cool thing, it's the Solera process, where every year they bottle the same amount of wine that they put in the vat, the same amount of wine that they bottle that year. So if they bottle the quantity of 2 barrels, they're going to put the best 2 barrels that they have from the next vintage. So every year there's a rotation, there's new vintage coming in the vat. So it's a very unique that they do in Italy, and sometime in Spain as well. It's called the Solera system. So really cool.
Very, very cool. Very, very cool.
Hey, what are we doing tonight? And what are we doing on Friday night? And what are we doing on Saturday afternoon?
So good point. Because we're going to Niagara literally in a couple hours to go to 2 very special events. One is the Winery of the Year celebration happening this Friday evening at Leaning Post, which many of you who are stopping by tonight are probably coming to that. If not, there's still some tickets. Nadia ordered way too much food, and I'm pretty sure they're not going to run out of wine. So it's going to be amazing. And they're pulling out like the very first vintage of the Senchuk Pinot Noir and the Lowry Pinot Noir. These are like incredible wines. So we can see how they aged. And there's no way anyone has access to that kind of stuff.
Nope.
Any other way.
Nope.
So it's pretty exciting.
And also, if you like rosés and you're curious about older vintage of rosés, I got a hint from Lincoln Lakeshore Appellation that might have a few bottles of older rosés that might going to be tested out on Friday night.
We tried a vertical of rosés on the BC side here, and when they're well made, it's actually super interesting how they age, and they can age really well. So yeah, we'll definitely be doing, this sort of thing. How did they age with several of the wines? But the main premise of the event on Friday is, we're celebrating our Winery of the Year. They're opening their vault for us. The winemaker and Nadia and Ilya are going to be there. There's going to be a barbecue from Memphis Barbecue with food. That's amazing. But we're also going to get to taste like amphora versus stainless steel versus oak.
We're going to do some vessel comparison. Like we're going to compare texture from one vessel to another. Which grape react best? Which different vessel, right?
This is the most amazing way to learn about wine, in my opinion.
And also being among friends, among members. There's some wine club members at Leaning Post who are going to join us as well. So if you're curious, you want to hear more about how the Leaning Post membership is, you're going to have members from Leaning Post. Obviously, Ilya and Nadia are opening their door of their amazing wineries and sharing their knowledge. And yeah, right there by the Senchuk Vineyard. I am so thrilled.
I am pretty sure that they will have some Dolcetto, especially if they don't have it open and we ask for it. I bet that might be a possibility as well. So yeah, it's going to be an epic evening. And it's also, I found out it is the Peach Fest happening that evening. So, there's just lots going on in Grimsby that evening. So it's the place to be. It's the place to be.
That's the place to be. That's the place to be.
And you don't have plans on Friday night, then you've got to come join us. It is going to be epic. And like I said, Nadia ordered way too much food, so we got some more room. It'll be great.
We sure do. So there's that. And now also So because Friday night is not enough, we've decided to do something on Saturday afternoon. And because we're going to Burgundy, because we're putting together a new thing here with Carl's Wine Club, here is my thought process. For the last 5 years, we've been the loudest, we've been the most out there in the country to say Canadian wines are world class. Canadian wines has arrived. Canadian wines are ready for the big stage. Now it's time to put the Canadian wine side by side with some of these international icons. So we're going to start doing that more and more and more. We're going to do it on a monthly basis, on a subscription style stuff. But I found my partner today, so I can't wait to start that project. But we also,
By
as we
partner, he means someone who owns a liquor store that's able to source us these rare, you know, Burgundy bottles or Portuguese bottles or things like that that we want to compare with the Canadian wines. Because very often, just like in Canada, you don't find the best BC wines necessarily on the shelf in Ontario because often the best ones don't leave the province. That happens
and
in
my
other
partner is
countries
not in
too.
BC, it's not in Ontario, it's not from a monopole, it's from the best freaking province about the wine selection in the country. So it's very exciting. We're gonna have access to some of the most incredible international wines on the Canadian market. So it's really, really exciting. So that. And we all know, we've been talking about, no, we not all know, but we're starting to spread the word that Carl's Wine Club is taking 12 couples in Burgundy. Richard De Silva has confirmed that he's coming, him and Twyla. It's a go. He said, you can announce it. We are going. So now we have 8 couples coming with us, already decided, already confirmed. And now we're sourcing all of these Burgundy bottles. And for the first time, Carl's Wine Club's going to do a Burgundy versus Canada showdown, and it's happening Saturday afternoon starting at 1:30 at a new venue that we've bought. We've featured Black Bank Hill wines before when they were a tiny baby, when they were just starting. So 3 years later, now they've won a platinum this year, they won a gold medal. Now they're getting out there. Jonathan and Taylor are doing an incredible job. So they opened the door of their cellar. We're going to have 30 people tasting our 12 wines side by side, Burgundy versus Canada. The kick in that is I got a co-MC. If you thought it was cool to have Marcel Morgenstern as a co-MC for the Pan Canadian, I sourced someone who used to make wine in Burgundy to be alongside. I mean, no one's going to replace Mira. Mira is irreplaceable. But or Marcel, it's just for that circumstance, for that very afternoon, I think we found the perfect fit to be alongside Carl Boucher on that afternoon. And this person is, drum roll, Mira, who is?
It's Thomas Batchelder, the man, the myth, the legend. I mean, we're so spoiled. We're so spoiled.
Thomas,
there's Brian Schmidt hanging out with us tonight and tomorrow. There's Ilya and Nadia Senchuk hanging out with us on Friday night with all their members and our members. On Saturday, we get to go to Black Bank Hill to hang out with Taylor Emerson there and the man, the myth, the legend, Thomas Batchelder himself. So, yeah.
So 12 wines, 6 Canadian wines alongside 6 Burgundy wine, 6 Pinots, 6 Chardonnay. Mira, do you have a few pictures of the BC wines that we're bringing with us?
No, not here. I mean, it'll take me like 5 minutes to find them.
No, don't worry. In 5 minutes, we're going to be packing and then we're going to be cleaning out the kitchen before we leave. So,
vacuuming.
No.
So they're great wines. We have Burgundian wines to go with them. We have Burgundian cheeses. We have 6 appetizer type canapé things that we'll experiment with in terms of pairings. It's just going to be fun and epic.
just to tease the people, okay? I'm not going to talk about the Burgundy wine, just the Canadian wines. The 3 Chardonnays who are going to be on display on Saturday afternoon is gold medal at the recent wine award, Meyer Family Estate 2022 micro cuvee. The second Chardonnay is 2021 Clausen Chase Churchside Vineyard. When I called Keith Dyer, I say, what is the best wine you think you can put in? Is it the Grand Cuvée? He said, forget about that. The wine, or my Chardonnay, who shows the best right now among everything I have, is the 21 Churchside. I want to put that one alongside of a Chablis. So that's going to be pairing number 2 on Chardonnay. And the third one, it's a pre-release. No one has tasted that one before. It's Hill of Wingfield, Thomas Batchelder Grand Cru wine from the Beamsville Bench, the trilogy of vineyard that he puts in the Hill of Wingfield. But he said, Carl, I want to put the 23 pre-release in there. No one has tasted it before. So surprise, surprise. That's a kicker. We're going to have I'm going to have a Meursault pair alongside that Hill of Wingfield. So that's for Chardonnay. Pinot Noir, the recently awarded platinum medal at the Wine Line, the Summerland-based Lightning Rock Vineyard, the Cannon View Vineyard, single vineyard, Summerland. We also have the Silva Legado 2020, which we tasted it with Richard at the winery last week, and darn it, Mira, that wine is shining right now. So Legado 2020, I know, And the last wine is a recently awarded gold medal at the recent Wine Line, and it's our host, Black Bank Hill Pinot Noir. So that's our 3 Pinot Noirs who are going to be featured at that tasting. So 12 wines, 6 canapes, 1 canapes per flight, and an incredible MC filled with knowledge. We're going to have so much fun. And there's I think it's 6 seats available still. So I'm pretty sure this is going to be sold out by the end of tomorrow. So if you're thinking about it,
it's almost sold out, but yeah, we would love to see you guys. And Carl Boucher, you have 4 wines in front of me, and we're supposed to leave. So, I mean, give us the 2-minute rundown. There's a 23R, which I loved. Is this the 23 St. Urban Riesling?
You got that right. 93 points.
Gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
People are smart. I see the orders coming in just like for 6 or 12 of these because the value is outstanding. This could easily be a $30, $40 Riesling. No one would bat an eye. And like Brian said, they just released it and it's pretty much sold out. Like they had to save some of it for us. So
so 2023, this is going to be gone in a sec. Like after our feature, and maybe by the end of September, this wine will be wiped out the map, just released and gone. This is maybe one of the very best of the Saint Urban Riesling that they've made. So really cool.
We'll
wine number 2, Mira,
that vintage we'll taste tomorrow. Number 2 is 22E. What does that mean?
2022 Elevation Cabernet. So that's the 92 plus wine, 85% Cap Franc, 15% Cap Sauv, the one that we just talked with Brian Schmidt. You also have the 2019 Cabernet. So this is the wine that they found in the warehouse. And Al Dupuy found a few cases. He tasted it and he's like, holy shit. So he called me, he said, do you want a few cases to put in the offer? That's why Brian doesn't even know about that. And
music to Carl's ears.
I'm like, what? And how much do you want to charge for that? He's like, you know what? Just $19.95 all in. And I start scoffing, I'm like, okay, Carl, keep your composure. Just say nothing, and let's roll with that. I'm like, $20. I tasted that. I'm like, holy smokes, yeah. So we're at I think 92
Really good.
points. I'm not sure exactly what I've said, but this is the
Here,
in
what
the
you said is this
in
it's
the
this one here.
bonus.
92 points with that Cabernet. Yeah.
Yeah, more old
It says
world.
elevation, but it's not. See, we couldn't even find a freaking picture of it.
I
So
know, because it's nowhere to be found. So anyway, so yeah, and it's a little bit more European style. It's 19 vintage, a little colder vintage. There's more earthiness, more herbaceousness, but the texture in the mid palate is fantastic. So, and the tannin are still so alive on the back end. I'm like, yeah. So anyway, there's that. And your other wine, it's your little baby favorite.
oh, that's lovely. Oh my God. I just tried it again. I'm like, which one is that? That one's so good. And it is the $10 half-size
Split.
bottle,
That's the little
91
split.
points. I mean, this is probably your top value wine of the year right now.
Right now, yeah, I can't like it has to be. It has to be.
91 plus points and $10. I mean, it's a half-size bottle, but still, if it were a full-size bottle and you just double it, it would be $20. That would still be one of your, if not your top value wine of the year. So
Yeah, I mean, and the convenience of the split, and you rare like you mentioned, like how many times we've been disappointed with the wine in the can or something like that. This absolutely blow it out of the water. It's really, really good. You got it in a split bottle, so absolutely fantastic. Stock up on that, and let's have fun. So yeah, that's our offer. Don't forget that we have a 93 points reserve. That this wine was worth every penny, even at $60. This is the collectible. This is the one that it's big. It's 2020. 2020 on the label in 2020 in the juice. I mean, this is the reflection of 2020 vintage. That's what 2020 is in a nutshell. Big, bold, juicy, muscular, concentrated, everything you want. But what I've been telling you, Mira, what is the characteristic of a wine that I'm looking for in a premium wine?
texture.
You got that right. You got that right. Bang on. That's exactly it. And when I tasted that wine, Extreme 2020, and when I told you, this is textural. That's the texture that I want for a premium wine, and I have it. So, I mean, 14.5% alcohol. It's big, it's bold, it's oaky. There's everything. But Jesus Christ.
Everything. Yes.
Everything.
There we go.
So yeah, here we
I
are.
love
That's
it.
the feature. So that's the feature of the year. I mean, in terms of value, $126, I guess, for 6 bottles of wine. Incredible lineup of exclusive release. Also, that that non-vintage Pinots. Which is a fun story that we just talked with Brian. So incredible value, incredible feature. Jump on it, and yeah, let's have fun. We will be at the winery tomorrow, tuning in with Brian again, and yeah, 2 days in a row with Brian.
We might go live as we go along our stops. So I'll give you a little sneak previews of these events and the incredible wines we'll taste. So even if you can't be there in person, if you're anywhere in the vicinity of Niagara this weekend, I'd love to see you, and I think you would love to be there. But if you can't be there, then we will kind of stream some things, post some things, so you can live vicariously and find out all the things that happen. It's going to be fun. All the wines we get to taste, and what that showdown, Burgundy versus Canada, is going to be like too. That's pretty fun.
Oh, well, might go live from, I might do a little video from the LCBO vintage tomorrow, picking up some bottles.
That too. Give them some love as well. So it's going to be a lot of fun, you guys. Thank you so much for stopping by. Happy Wine Wednesday. And we'll see you guys again tomorrow from Niagara on
And wine
location.
lovers, Carl's Wine Club members. See you next time.
Cheers.